I'm going to talk about thyroid medication options or thyroid hormone replacement options. People ask me about this all the time. There's a bunch of different things that I'm going to go through, so it may take more than one video. Bear with me. So this is your thyroid. It's a tiny little gland sitting here at the base of your throat. You should not be able to see or feel it unless it is enlarged. That's why the doctor will check your throat when you go for a checkup. And we're concerned with two hormones that it makes. It makes a third involved in calcium balance. We're not going to talk about that. We're concerned primarily with what it makes is the hormone we call T4, thyronine. It has 4 iodines and a tiny bit of something called T3, triiodothyronine. Same thing, but with 3 iodines. Most of what your thyroid makes overwhelmingly is this T4 hormone that is then released into the bloodstream and converted from T4, the storage form. Again, most of what your thyroid makes is T4, a storage form of the hormone. It is not used by the body directly. It has to be converted from T4 to T3. That is super essential. I'll come in a moment. So your body makes a storage form so that it has it in reserve. You can't make T3, the active form, when you need it. You need to have it around so you can convert it. And that's how we get the active form T3. One of those iodines is chopped off by an enzyme called a deiodinase because it deiodinates and takes an iodine off into T3, which is now called triiodothyronine, 3 iodine medication hormone. So we need that T3 to actually function. So that conversion from T4 to T3 takes place peripherally, meaning in your tissues, not in your thyroid. Some of it takes place in the liver for use around the body. Some of it takes place in the kidneys, a little bit in the gut. But a lot of it takes place in the cells that actually need it. So the cells will take up T4 and there are enzymes, these deiodinases, inside the cells so that the cell can convert from T4 to T3. Why is that inside the cell so important? Because if that conversion is taking place inside the cell, what you measure in the bloodstream is not actually what's going on in the cell. So we cannot just measure what's in the bloodstream and know exactly what's going on. Super, super important point. So if you still have symptoms, even though your labs are perfect, normal, no matter what the doctor's tests, means something's going on at the cellular level. Don't take my word for it. There's a new book coming out called Rethinking Hypothyroidism by Dr. Antonio Bianco, former head of the American Thyroid Association, fellow of the Endocrine Society, MD, PhD, guy might know what he's talking about, one of the key researchers into these deiodinase enzymes, and he's saying that we have failed patients for 50 years because the standard of care has been this T4 only medication, this storage hormone, levothyroxine. You've probably heard the synthetic form is Thyroid, is probably the most common brand, but there's also generics. And if we just give that to patients, the assumption is it can convert from T4 to T3 perfectly and we all feel great. That was based on industry propaganda, pharmaceutical company propaganda, not on solid research, and we're learning there are other options. So stay tuned for